A very good morning, students. We are doing isometric projections now. In the previous classes, I have explained about the various solids, including prism and also a frustum of a cone. Right? Apart from the objects being in full, I also told you what do you mean by a frustum, and I have explained you how to draw a frustum of a cone. So under that frustum part, I also have to explain one more thing, that is frustum of a pyramid. Okay, so frustum part will only come with respect to cone as well as pyramid. Nowhere else you will get a frustum unless it's a pyramid or a cone, because it doesn't make any sense if I say a frustum of a prism or a frustum of a cylinder, because it will look the same, isn't it? Only the height will change, even if we cut it at any distance. Except for the height, for prism it will remain the same, or for a cylinder it will remain the same. Only in the case of pyramid and in the case of cone we can have frustums. That means when you cut it at a particular point, the top face will vary from height, from point to point. So wherever you are going to cut, they will have a different shape on the top. If you don't have any frustum, it will be a point on the top, right? So any point where if you cut it at any particular distance, every time the shape will be different. Okay, so we have already done a problem on a frustum of a cone, and I had given that as an assignment also. You have completed that. Okay, so today we will continue with the frustum of a pyramid. Alright, so we'll take a problem on frustum of a pyramid, and after that possibly I will do some of the exercise problems which are there in your question banks, and rest of the problems you have to do, because I have covered all the problems, all varieties. Now you have to individually see the questions and do it. Okay, so we'll take that problem on the frustum of pyramid. Alright, so this is the question. A pentagonal pyramid of base 25 mm and height 65 mm stands with its base on HP. An edge of the base is parallel to VP and nearer to it. A horizontal section plane cuts the pyramid and passes through a point on the axis at a distance of 40 mm from the base. Draw the isometric projection of the frustum of the pyramid. So the question will be given like this. So you will have to understand what exactly it means. So the base is given. Okay, the base is given. The top face is not given actually. That means it is not possible for you to directly draw it. So you have to do the orthographic view first. Based on the orthographic view, whatever the dimension they have given, from there only you can take the values. Okay, it is directly impossible to draw an isometric view. You have to draw the orthographic view. You have to draw the pyramid. You have to see where it cuts and measure the distance of the top face there, and based on that you have to draw the isometric drawing. Okay, so let us first draw the orthographic view. Okay, so this is the condition which it is told here. As you can see in the question, it is mentioned, right? An edge of the base is parallel to VP and nearer to it. There's a lot of meaning in that sentence. When they say an edge of the base is parallel to VP, that means you can see in the sketch here, this edge is there, right? This edge is parallel to VP. In other words, parallel to XY line. Okay, that is one part. They have written one full sentence here. An edge of the base is parallel to VP and nearer to it. Two conditions. What is that? One of the base edges should be parallel like this, and second thing is the base edge which is parallel should be nearer to it. What does that mean? See, there is a possibility for you to draw the same pentagon keeping the base downwards like this, right? Still it is possible to draw pentagon like this, and still it satisfies the condition, one of the edges being parallel to VP. But what will happen? That if I keep this ulta, the edge will come here. That means the edge will be far from the vertical plane. So the statement says very clearly the edge of the base is parallel to VP and nearer to it. That means this edge should be parallel, plus this should be the first edge towards the XY line. Got it? So these are all just for your understanding point of view. Such phrases will be given in the question, just to know whether you know the concept or not. Nothing much would change if you keep it on the downside also, isn't it? But as per the question, they are just want to test you whether do you know what each and every line means there. So one of the edges being parallel, okay, you can keep one of the edges parallel. Keeping it nearer to it means that should be closer to XY line. And if it is not kept means it will be far from it, isn't it? So that is what the meaning is. So as per the question, this should be the exact position of your pentagon. Okay, now that is over for the top view. Let's do the namings. So A, B, C, D and E, and let's project it now upwards. Let us not join the line now itself. Okay, you may have a doubt here, right? So it's a pyramid, right? So why shouldn't I be joining the lines directly here? Of course you have to join the lines and find the center, but let it be very light only to find the center. Why? Because we will not have the complete edge here, isn't it? Because the pyramid would be cut from here somewhere in between, isn't it? So the top view, the shape will be different. There will be one more pentagon here at whatever shape we get. So let us not draw this with thick lines. Let us draw these things with very, very light lines just to locate the center right now. Later we will see how much part of that should be actually visible. Okay, so let's not get into drawing these lines thicker inside. Let us find the center, and from the center let us project it upwards. Now the axis height we have to consider. What is the axis height given? The height is 65 mm with it stands with its base. So axis height is 65 mm. So based on the axis height, we will take the axis height as 65 mm and draw the complete pyramid. Again, let me repeat, it should be very light because this is not the final drawing. They have not told you to draw the pyramid completely, isn't it? It's a frustum. That means we know it's going to get cut at certain distance, and then only we can decide what part is visible or what part is not visible. So let us not draw everything dark first. We will only draw things in light. So I've told this in the previous class as well. Whatever is drawn on the blue is light or projection line. Whatever is done in the black is visible line or thick lines. Okay, so we are drawing everything in blue right now. We are taking the axis height as 65 mm and we are completing the pyramid. Next, what you have to do as per the question, if you see the question properly, it says that a horizontal section plane cuts the pyramid and passes through a point on the axis at a distance of 40 mm from the base. Okay, so this pyramid is actually cut and it is cut straight. That is also mentioned here. See, cuts the pyramid and passes through the point on the axis at a distance of 40 mm from the base. So where is the base now? This is the base. So from here, not from the apex here, don't make that mistake. The total height is 65, right? So from the base you measure 40 mm, somewhere here it will come. So the point is cut from here. That means you have to cut it like this, straight. Got it? So it is cut like this at a distance of 40 from the base, or in other words we can say if total is 65, from the top it should be 25. Okay, that's not given in the question, I'm just telling you for your understanding. Total it is 65. So from the base if it is 40 means from the top it is 25. So at that point, it's not the center. So from base it should be 40. So at that point you have to draw a horizontal line. So till there only pyramid is there. The top portion of the pyramid is not there. That has been cut off. Okay, so we have to draw that particular part. Okay, total height is 65. Then you have to draw a line like this as I told you, and what should be the distance of that? That should be 40 mm. Okay, I hope it's clear. So you cannot get it by calculation. You have to draw it to the actual scale and only you can get it. Got it? So now you have got this particular part. So that means this is the part what is visible. Alright, so this part is visible. Above this, whatever comes above this is been removed. So when you see from the top, now if this is not there, you will also see this face, isn't it? So this is a smaller pentagon actually, because the top point was apex, you would see a point, but now since it has been cut from the top, you will also able to see one more face here, top face, but will be of a smaller size here. Now what is that size? That is what we have to get it, and for that what we have to do, we need to project it back here downwards and then get the particular point. Got it? We don't know, right? This distance we don't know. We only know that there is the pyramid is being cut at this particular point, which is at a height of 40 mm from here. Okay, in the front view we know. Now we are supposed to get the dimension of this, right, to draw in the isometric scale, isn't it? We need to know what is the edge, what is the side of the edge. So base we know because it is given, it is 25, but the top face nowhere it is given, whether it is 20 or 15 or whatever distance we get, we don't know. So we have to geometrically find out, we have to do the drawing and only find out how much it will be. So what will be the case now? You have to draw lines from these points, okay, individual point. From here you have to draw down, from this hidden line you have to draw down, from this vertical point anyways you have to draw it down, from this point you have to draw it down, and from this point you have to draw it down. So wherever that will intersect, that point we have to take. Okay, I'll when you see the sketch you will understand. Probably when I say like this, many of you wouldn't have understood what I meant. What do you mean by projecting it down and getting it? Okay, so now I hope you get it. So we have joined the points here, right? So I told you we have to project the points from the top. See, like this. Is that clear to all of you? We have to project the points from each of these lines. So I'll just zoom this area so that you understand what I was talking about. So this one, see, this is the point where it cuts, isn't it? From there you have to project it on the top. You just project it throughout. From other side also you project it. From this line also you project it. From this line also you will have to project it. Okay. Now this is the top portion of the pentagon. Got it? You will get the side, isn't it? So how do you get this point? Because you will get all the points here now. I'll zoom it again. Okay, so you can see the points what you are going to get. So you will get individually one points. So for example, let's say you get this particular point. When you are projecting from this line, you get this point. From your projecting from this point, you will get this point. So from here to here, you will draw one edge wherever that intersects. For example, it's O is not mentioned here. Let's say OE is the line OE. On that line, you will cut this particular point. So that will be 1 point. Similarly, on the other side, you will get one more point. So that will become one edge. Similarly, you will project it from here, from this particular point. So you will, this point is already got. Now you get one edge here. So you will join this. Same way, from the other end, you will project it on this line. So this point you already got. You will get this particular point. Okay. So OB, it's not possible to find OB here because it's already the vertical line, isn't it? So it will not cut anywhere at all. So how will you do that? Since we have already found out the distance, since we know what is the side of the edge, we will measure this in the compass, keep it at here and cut the arc, and you will get this point also. The rest of the points you will get. And where do we cut that? It's not that you cut randomly anywhere you want. So this line represents each of the points, isn't it? So this is O, and if this is A, so this is line coming from OA. OA should cut on OA only here. Understood, right? Not taking, because you can see there is a possibility that it cuts, it's a possibility that it will cut at 2 points here. We don't consider the wrong dimension. This is not the one. This is OE line. The line is coming from OA will cut on OA line only. The line coming from OC will cut on OC only. Line coming from OD will cut on OD only. Line coming from OE will cut on OE only. Corresponding points you have to cut. Okay, that's how you get the top view. Alright, this is important. Why? Because in this particular case, they have not given the top face. They want you to do some extra work in this case, that's all. In some of the questions, they will give you. Then it becomes easy. You don't really have to take this drawing, project it again and then draw it downwards. In some of the questions, if you see one of the question in question bank, I think it's hexagonal pyramid. There they have given you the base is 30 and the top side is 18. Then it becomes easy. So you don't really have to do all this work. Since they have already given the top face is 18, directly you can take the distance as 18 and draw. Okay, so we already know that the top face is 18. But in this case they have not mentioned, right? So you'll have to find out how much it is. Now you can measure that and see whether it is 18 or 15 or whatever distance you get, that will be the value. Okay, so I hope you have followed what I said. So first you will draw the pentagon, you will project it upwards, you will make the entire pyramid first. Okay, after making the pyramid you will take the height of 40 mm from the base in the axis only. Okay, on the axis, from there you will draw a horizontal line parallel to XY line. So that means that is the portion where it is cut. Now from those corresponding points, from OA line you will draw a projection to top view OA. From OB OB is not possible. From OC you will draw a line to top view OC. From OE you will draw it to top view, and OD you will draw a line to top view, and then you will get the smaller hexagon. So that means now if you see the pentagonal pyramid from the top, this is how it is going to look. Of course you will have to join the remaining point with the dark lines here. This is visible edge, not full, but from here it is visible, black. It should be black from here. Okay, so this is how it will look. So now we have completed the orthographic view of this particular frustum of a pyramid. Okay, now you have to draw the isometric. So now once you have done this much part, now the procedure is same. So only drawing this part was a little bit of work for you, but now that you have done this particular part, it is easy for you to draw the isometric view, because there is no much changes in this. Again, doing the same, making an envelope outside box. Two envelope has to be made, one on the outer side, one on the inner side. The same thing has to be reproduced, how I explained in the case of frustum of a cone. Okay, and one more thing I would suggest is, here also it's better if you draw with the iso scale only. Okay, if you do it with the true scale also, no problem, but if you do it with the true scale, again I told you, right, that converting that into iso scale every time will be difficult. So again I will suggest the same thing. Instead of taking 25 mm, you take iso 25 mm and draw this pentagon, so that all the values whatever you get will be in iso only, so that direct readings can be taken in the compass here and can be projected on the isometric scale. If you take true 25, what will happen? If you take 225 and draw, the orthographic view will be correct, isn't it? You will get exact values of the top face as well as the base. But when you are doing it with iso scale, you know every value should be converted into iso. So 25 line means you are not drawing this 25 only. If you draw this 25, that would cross 30 there, isn't it? So if you take this side as 25 here, iso 25 means how much? It is much lesser, right? So iso means it should be 0.8. So 25 into 0.8 it should be. So every time multiplying the distances becomes complicated. So I would suggest you, while drawing on the left hand side only, that is in the plain sheet only, better to draw it with the iso 25 as the radius, this side. Okay, if you take this side as iso 25, it becomes easy. The whole drawing will be in iso. Whatever projections, everything you get, the inner face, everything will be in iso. So you can directly plot it on the isometric scale. Right, so that will become easier. So let us proceed with the isometric drawing now. Okay, so I have named the inner points as P, Q, R, S and T, base as A, B, C, D and E. It's a pentagon. So base edges I have taken it as A, B, C, D, E, and the top edges I have taken it as P, Q, R, S and T. Okay, so now we have drawn the 30 degree line. Now what we have to do, we need to measure the distances here. We have to measure this distance first, this edge and this edge, vertical edge and horizontal edge. Right, it may not be a square. Okay, it need not be a square all the time. This will be different probably. So measure the distances on horizontal line. Let me name the box like this: 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I have told you, right? So it becomes easy. If you start naming it 1, 2, 3 and 4. If I take this point as 1, this point as 2, this point as 3, this point as 4. So I'll know between 1 and 2 I get B, between 2 and 3 I get C, between 3 and 4 I get D and E, and between 4 and 1 I get A. So that becomes easier. So if you name it as 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's measure this distance. So this is what I told. If you take this as ISO 25 and draw, this distance will be directly ISO. You need not convert it again. That's what I meant. So let's say I have taken this drawing in ISO only. This side is ISO 25, all sides are ISO 25. Then this distance is directly ISO. 1 to 2 is directly ISO. I will take my compass, keep it at this point, measure this distance. Okay, and I'll come here and I will mark the same point. I'll keep it here and I'll take that distance. Same way I'll measure this distance and I will take it from here to here. So it will be 1, 4 this side, 1, 2 this side. Okay. So based on that I will complete the box below. Okay, this is how I complete the box. It is done now. I have taken the proper measurements. Let's say I have taken the measurements from here to here. This is 1 and 2. This is 1 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exactly this size has been reproduced over here. Now you know how I get the remaining points, isn't it? So I'll take the distance from 1 to D, how much it is. I'll keep the point D here, measuring 1 to D, whatever distance I get. I'll measure the distance from 2 to C. 2 is here. I'll get somewhere C over here. Similarly, on this line I will get D, here I will get E, and here I will get A. Then I will join the pentagon base. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So base will be completed. Now I have to take the top face similarly. So I need to get the center for that. So center will be taken this way. Center of this line, midpoint of this point, I will draw a line. Midpoint of this one, I will draw a line. Wherever it intersects, I'll take that as center. From there, I know what is the axis height here. Axis height will be at a height of 40, not 65. Please remember that. It was 65 earlier, but after cutting, it is 40 now. So don't take 65 by mistake. It should be ISO 40. Okay, height should be ISO 40, not 65. So ISO 40 will be the top point. So what we are getting now is this center is here. Okay, so I will have to make the top face also similar to how I created the base. Absolutely same how I created the base. Right? So I will take these distances. I think I have explained this in the previous class, but once again I will explain that. No problem. So what I have got right now is this center point. This point is what I have got here. Right, on the center. So what I have to do, I made a box around here, isn't it? Inside PQRST I have made a box. Now I got the center point here. So let me measure from here to Q what is the distance, and from this center to this midpoint what is the distance. Same distance I will be placing it over here. Same distance I will be placing it over here. Same way I will measure the distance from this center to the midpoint of this line, and this center to midpoint of this line. And same way I will take the distances on the horizontal side. One is on the vertical side, another one is on the horizontal side. I will take the distances properly. But you have to be careful while taking the distance. Don't take the distance randomly. Okay, so this is the center. So this is actually O to Q, wherever I get the midpoint of this. So that will be this distance, O to Q. Same way on the opposite midpoint I'll take and I'll measure that and I'll keep it here. From this center to this midpoint, from this center to this midpoint. So that distance I will measure and I will keep. Got it? So once I get that, I can draw parallel lines on either side. From this end point I will draw a line parallel to this from this end and draw one more parallel line from here. Same way from this midpoint I will draw a parallel line from here, and from this midpoint to this point I will draw a parallel line from here. So I will be able to reproduce the smaller box on the top. Okay. Okay, this is how I create the box on the top. So majority of our work is over to construct this. Whatever difficult task was there, we have finished it. Now what is left out is only connecting the points, and that is very simple. Now I need to locate where is P, where is Q, where is R, where is S, and where is T. So what I have to do now, I have to take this particular drawing. I can either start from the base or from the top. So base I've already explained anyways. So I'll find the distance. Same way this box also I will take it as 1, 2, 3, 4 only, so that there is no confusion, right? So I'll take the distance 1, 2, 3, 4. So between 1 and 2 there is Q. So I'll measure the distance from 1 to Q. I think it's in the midpoint. So you will get Q here. Between 2 to 3 I will get the distance R. I will measure that somewhere in here you may get R. Somewhere here you will get S. Here you will get a T. And somewhere here you will get P. So you will get the top face. Similarly, you will get B over here in the midpoint, C over here, D here, E here, and A over here. So you will get the base and you will get the top. So based on that, you will join the corresponding points to that. Join from P to A, Q to B, R to C, S to D, and T to E. Corresponding points you have to join. Okay. Okay, so 5 points on the base and 5 points on the top. A, B, C, D, E is the base. P, Q, R, S, T is the top. So you can, once you get the point, you can join all those with black only. I mean, in the sense you can make it dark only, because you know the top everything will be visible, but base everything will not be visible. You have to be careful. Now let us join all the points. Okay. So now while joining, you can very clearly see that the inner lines, that is from here, this point is P, right? So P to A will come in the front, so you can join. Q to B will come here, then R to C will come here, then D to S. This point you need not draw because this is coming from back side. You can draw very light if you want, so that there is no confusion, but the last point is again visible. So this point will not be visible. So while drawing, make sure that this is dark, this is dark, this is dark. You are supposed to join it from here to here, but it is not visible, so you need not draw it. And this line also you have to draw, but again you need not draw it. And this line also you need not draw it. Even if you want to draw it also, no problem, but it should be projection line. From here to here you can just imagine that this is projection, this is projection, and a projection line here. But whatever is visible is this part. Okay, so this completes frustum of pyramid. So with this explanations, whatever I have given over the classes throughout, right from the beginning, I think you should be in a position to draw any isometric problem here. The most difficult drawing considered in isometric is drawing frustums. So if you have understood whatever I have explained here, and if you can draw this drawing properly, I would assume that you can draw majority of the drawings, because whenever there is a concept of cubes or rectangle, prisms and all those things, that's very simple, very easily done. Little bit difficulty will be while drawing frustum of cone, which I have done in the previous class. Then remaining objects will all be same. Hemisphere is easier, cylinder is easy. Okay, prisms I have explained in the last class. So frustum I am explaining it in the today's class. So all the varieties we have covered. Okay, only thing is that I have not specifically done a problem which is there in your question bank, but I have done all varieties of problems by which you can answer isometric. Okay, all the types I have done. Frustum of pyramid is done, frustum of a cone is done, pyramid is done, prism is done, cube is done, sphere is done, hemisphere is done, cylinder is done. So you only have these objects. Okay, other than this, there is no much objects left. I think tetrahedron is there, that also you can do without that difficulty. Okay, so in the next video what we will do is I will just take some of the question bank problems, because there are combination of solids, there are one placed over the other, so you may not actually understand how to place it. Actually the logic is simple. Same base you are taking, whatever drawing. For example, if something has to be placed on top of this, you will take the top face as the reference. That's all. You will take this as the reference. You will consider this as the base. With respect to that, you will place one more object on the top. The only thing is that, just like how you consider this to be the base and started, if there is a on top of the frustum of pyramid, let's say there is a hemisphere or there is one more object, you will consider this as the reference, 30 degree line for that, and with respect to this you will start drawing the next object. Okay, anyhow, I will take some of the problems in the question bank in the next video and I will explain. Okay, so after that you should be able to complete all the questions whatever is there in the isometric projections. Okay, thank you.